All right, good evening. Notice is hereby given that a called meeting of the Board of Adjustments and Appeals of Balcones Heights, Texas will be held on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 at 5 o'clock p.m. at the Justice Center located at 3300 Hillcrest Drive, Balcones Heights, Texas, at which time the following subjects will be discussed to wit, current time 5:08. We have a quorum, so I'll call to order. We have two business matters tonight. The first one, the board will conduct a public hearing to hear from citizens on the application submitted by applicant Porfirio Ruben Romero or his representative Raul Acosta for the location of 210 Concord Place, Balcones Heights, Texas, 78201. The legal description CB 5771, Block 8, Lot 19, and Lot 20, zoning R1, single family resident. The applicant is requesting a variance to section 153.3.4, building height and setback regulations, side setback, and minimum lot size. The board will hear, consider, and take action on the application request variance for submitted by Porfirio Ruben Romero. So open it up to the public. Do we have anybody signed up to speak? Nobody signed up. So we'll close the public hearing at 5:09 p.m. And then we'll open it up for the presentation. Nick?
Okay. What? Suzanne Concord first. Yes, sir. Okay, great. Good evening, board members, new board members. Welcome. Appreciate the time. This is a long time coming with this property in particular. So, as Chair Hernandez mentioned, we're here to view 210 Concord. If you can go on to the next one. Just to reiterate the property information, this is for Ruben Romero, 210 Concord Place is the address. Zoning classification of an R1 single family residence. Legal description, BCAT property parcel ID is also listed. This can be referenced to permit number 7993 within our city system here. Next slide, please. The variance that they're looking to request here is for ordinance 153.3.4, building height and setback regulations. Currently, as the ordinance reads, for an R1 single family residence, the side setback minimum is 10 feet. Your property lot minimum size needs to be 10,000 square feet to build any sort of home on the property there. And then there's a snippet there of the ordinance in relation to what they're asking a variance for. And the home that they're trying to build on is a 7,500 foot square lot, and they're requesting 5 foot setbacks along with that. Next slide, please. Here are the current site conditions. As you can see from a street view right there and an aerial view, it is just an empty lot. There is no home. There is a driveway apron from a pre-existing home that may have been there quite some time ago. From any Google Earth history that I could view back, I haven't seen a home present for 30, 40 years or so. If somebody's been living in the area longer than that and there has been a home there, please correct me. But there is an entrance there, more than likely from a road reconstruction project in the past couple of years. Next slide, please. This was a topic from our last meeting in July with the tree removal. I just want to reiterate that you do need a permit to remove a tree on a property if it is done by a contractor. A homeowner, at their discretion, can remove a tree. It is up to them if they want to remove it or not remove it. They don't need any sort of permit from the city. But a contractor will need to pay for a permit and go through the city for that. They'll haul it off and go from that process. There is two trees, not one oak tree. I have that mislisted on the presentation there. Two oak tree variants. We did verify that it is a live oak variant. The ordinance does state if you're pruning the tree, you need to paint it, make sure that we're not spreading any sort of oak disease. But I believe the homeowner and the architects, their intention is to remove these trees just based on the proposed site plan, and they can clarify here later when they come up. Next slide, please. Here's the proposed site plan. Again, lot size that is currently available to them is 7,500 square feet. This is going to be a requesting of 5-foot setback variance. Before I kind of move on from the slide, are there any questions on the orientation of this site plan? Okay. It should be. I hope it is. Okay, great. Now, I added a couple arrows up there. You can see that from the original site plan, there has been added vegetation thrown in there. Originally, it wasn't part of the plans, but because there is likely going to be two tree removals, they're looking to add two different trees and more vegetation, which is going to kind of increase the tree canopy, prevent any heat island effect that may be caused by the home being placed there. But they're looking to make sure that the characteristic of the neighborhood maintains its aesthetic value. Next slide, please. Here is the side cutouts. Another issue that was brought up, or another concern that was brought up back in our meeting in July, was the water runoff, anything that may cause any flooding. The architect and the homeowner have gone ahead and included a gutter system, making sure that we improve the water runoff. We're directing it in the right direction and we're not flooding any nearby properties. Any questions on this site plan before we move on? Next slide, please. We went ahead and have sent three different rounds of responses to solicit from residents in the area. At the discretion of our last meeting from all of our board members, we did send it certified back in August to make sure that we would get as many responses as possible. You can see the property requesting the variance there in gold. Red is going to denote anybody that is not in favor of the requested variance. Green is going to denote that they're in favor of the variance being granted to the homeowner and the architect. Blue is going to denote that there is no response or feedback given, despite sending it twice in first class mail, once certified mail. There was just no response given from those properties. I do want to note two things here. There's a red asterisk on the property next to the gold. That is a renter home. The renters are in favor of the variance, but per ordinance, we're only allowed to solicit answers from homeowners. The homeowners are not in favor of this ordinance being given, but they are out of town owners. So those that live there are in favor, those that do not are not. And one last thing before I pass it over to you. That little green highlight there, that was a last minute submission that they're in favor of this variance being granted. I know it was done a little hastily, but it was the day of that they submitted that response. Yes, Mr. Eversole.
The house that it's gonna, the lot is the one that ends in 5-9, correct?
My vision is very bad. It is the one in gold. I can't
Gold,
can't see
right?
the numbers there. Yes.
That's the property we're looking at. Okay.
That is the one requesting the variance.
The one that is at 214 Concord, that is the 5-8 that ends in 5-8. Is that correct? The rent house, the rental?
Give me 1 second to find it here.
Says Letitia.
There should be an Excel sheet in your packet here that'll be listing the property parcel numbers along with their street address and situs address.
Right?
Mr. Hernandez, Mike, please.
The renters. No. This is okay.
That is correct.
They already are within the 5, they're already using 5 foot. So it's like do as I say, but not as I do. is what I hear on that because
So if they built the home before this ordinance was passed for setbacks, it is a legal non-conforming. They don't need to adhere. We can't force them to tear down their house and then go to the proposed setbacks.
that's what I'm saying. They're already using five.
Yeah.
Pushed the limits to 5 over. And then now these people are asking to use the same and just do legitimately.
Yes, sir.
That's all I'm saying. That just kind of makes me think. That's all. I just wanted to clarify and make sure I was thinking the right things. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next, please. Just to go over the responses one more time, 7 owners did not mail in the response. 5 were opposed, 8 were in favor. I just want to clarify, if we're not receiving the responses, the way I interpret that is that they have no serious issues with the variance being granted, right? We've given them 3 different opportunities. We did go door to door, myself, Rose, and our code officer, Jeremy, to talk to all these residents. Not all of them are going to answer the door, but we wanted to make sure that responses were recorded. This is the best that we were able to get out of them. Out of the 5 that did go opposed, we got a couple answers from them. One homeowner voiced that there was no desire to see a home developed on the property at all. That was the only context that I was given. One homeowner voiced that they did not want this to be a precedent for developers to change ordinances. They felt that if one variance is granted, then anybody can be granted a variance no matter what. As you all know, that is not the case. They're always going to have to submit an application. Those were the 2 only serious concerns that were raised to me. 3 others did not voice any concern. It was just a mailback form, and we were not able to get hold of them. Next slide, please. Fire hazards was another concern that was brought up in our July meeting here. I want y'all to be able to see the map here. The gold star is going to be the property reference to the one requesting the variance. The purple star, red star, maroon star, whatever it may be on the right-hand side is our fire department. As I spoke to the the fire chief about a month and a half ago, he sees this as no issue of fire concern. I know that setbacks was brought up as 5 might be too close, but like I mentioned last night's city council meeting and previous Board of Adjustments meetings, 5-foot setbacks is the standard for San Antonio and what most of these homeowners within the neighborhood are using. The proximity to the fire station is about 0.2 miles. We're 1/5 of the mile away. They're going to get a great response time. Whenever I ask the fire chief for what a response time may be to a scenario, just in the event that there's a fire, he's giving me a 3-minute turnaround from the second he receives a call to them being there ready to take action. So I would not see this as a fire hazard concern given that variance request for side setbacks. Next slide, please. Water runoff concern was also brought up in our last meeting here. Like I mentioned earlier, the homeowner and architect included a gutter system. Property does not sit within a floodplain here. The map is showing those wavy lines as you see there. That's going to show your water runoff side. So from right to left, it's going to run off down towards the drainage channel on Concord. Again, it's not in the floodplain or the flood zone. It has a 2 to 3% slope grade whenever we're going out there and doing our measurements. That's going to tell us that the water runoff is going to be very slow. It has time to permeate the soil. It's not going to be fast gushing water that's going to create any floods for any nearby properties. So this shouldn't be a concern when considering there being a home there, especially when they're having that gutter system to navigate the water closer to the drainage channel or closer to the street, so it's much more maintained. Next slide, please. Here is the floodplain map. So we're quite a ways away from any 100-year or 500-year floodplain. They're pretty far up the block. That blue is going to show you all of the floodplain, and most of it is a drainage channel, but any properties left of that or further southwest of that is going to be part of the floodplain. And the property that we are referencing, 210, is the gold arrow. No worries. Next slide, please. Here's a lot size comparison. So all of our 200-foot notices can be seen right here. So that's kind of where we're sending out these letters and notices requesting information on what their opinions are on the matter. Next slide, please. Just for a reference, lot sizes within 200 square feet, we can see varying from 4,500 square feet, which is much less than the one requesting a variance. And then we're going up to 20,000 square feet for a different lot. These are all lots within 200 square feet of the requesting property here. Less than 9 of those lots are less than 10,000 square feet. 10 of those lots are greater than 10,000 square feet. I'm putting that information there just as a reference. If those 9 houses less than 10,000 square feet were to want to demolish their homes and rebuild, we would be going through 9 separate variance requests just because as the ordinance reads currently, they cannot build a home on a lot less than 10,000 square feet. Next slide, please. Oh, go ahead.
The size of their lot again?
7,500 square feet.
Okay.
So it is not the largest, it's not the smallest. I'll go right here too. This is a little harder for me to read, but if you're looking at that right chart there, this is a study done from an urban planning group a couple years ago that was tasked with giving us our city 2040 plan. The average lot size in balcony sites is 9,000 square feet. Out of all 300 properties that we have within the city, most of them are falling below that 10,000 square feet threshold. Most of them would not be able to build a new home had they that desire or need to do that, right? And even within 50% of home renovations, we require you to go into compliance. If you want to do half of your home, you're going to have to go into compliance, and it's going to make it very difficult for these homeowners to do that. Looking at that chart on the left, this is the housing stock that we currently have within the area. Most of the homes were built in the late 50s, early 60s. So really, we're trying to target the city 2040 plans and what strategies are here, right? This homeowner, this property owner, this architect wants to come in and make sure that we're building a brand new home, providing different housing solutions, different price points, whether it be to renters or to homeowners, but we're trying to provide for different levels of income, and this is definitely, targeting that area. Roy, can you do me a favor and zoom in on that right chart because I cannot see. Here we go. So 6% of, 6 vacant parcels currently lay within the city of Balcones Heights. Yeah, zoom in one more time back where you're at. 6 parcels are vacant within the city of Balcones Heights. Off the top of my head, I believe 4 of those are less than 10,000 square feet. If there's going to be a new developer, new property owner that wants to come in, happens to buy that, we're going to have to go through these variance requests again. We're having trouble allowing new stakeholders, new homeowners to come in and really want to build a dream home or a rental property, whatever it may be. This really hinders their ability to do that. Out of those 6, it's 3% of our residential housing stock here. Scroll down, please. Next slide. Ooh, yeah, zoom in on the left one. The right diagram is going to be the exact same one that we just saw on the previous slide. As I mentioned, we're targeting quite a few things that were identified in the City Plan 2040. These rankings that you see on that left chart, these are all identified by community input back in 2022, 2023. So we're targeting aging housing stock. We're targeting lack of inventory and choices, as I mentioned. We're strengthening our tree canopy, as I mentioned, because we're going to improve that tree canopy. The homeowner and the architect have already mentioned that, we're going to add vegetation since some is going to be removed. And overall, it's not going to change the aesthetic of the neighborhood. All it is going to make it much more appealing. It's a brand new home. It's something that's going to uplift the neighborhood and the property values. Next slide, please. Here we are, last slide finally. Recommendations. So us as a staff, we're going to recommend the approval for the requested variance for side setbacks and minimum lot size at 210 Concord. This is allowing a reasonable use of the property without negatively impacting neighboring lots. This remains compatible with established neighborhood character, as I mentioned. It also greatly aligns with our City Plan 2040 to raise population. We're allowing for more stakeholders, right? I didn't cover this in the presentation, but it is identified that our aging demographic in the city is a weakness. It's a threat right now. So we're wanting to make sure that we're promoting and inviting more residents to come into the city and to be able to be stakeholders ultimately, be involved in the community. And that's what we really want to do. It's going to raise the tax base, and we're satisfying housing strategies outlined in City Plan 2040, 5-6 specifically. Before I turn it over, or, I will be up here for questions. The next two slides are going to be the site plan and the architectural plan in case there's any questions for the architect or the property owner, but I'm more than happy to answer anything as well. The floodplain.
I just need to know, on the floodplain map,
Yeah.
there's no streets names, so
Can you go back up, Roy?
I'd like to clarify where those are.
Yeah. That one
Okay.
right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, so Concord is going to be the one that has the gold arrow.
That's Concord?
That is Concord.
All right. And the other street that's crossing it is Glen or,
That is Gentleman.
And then where's the street, the last one up at the top with the big puddle?
Oh, the big puddle. Oh, man, that's a great question. Is it Bobby's?
Pardon?
That's a great question. I should have put him on there.
If this is Concord,
I believe it is by the park. Yeah. I believe it is. I think it's Pleasant.
it's Park.
I think the street above it is Pleasant. Is
Concord,
that correct?
Glenarm.
Do you know? There is. Roy, can I see your, let me go.
May I be recognized? Jimmy, may I be recognized? Yes. Molly, I know where it is. Yeah. Right there is the baseball is Silly Nova Park. Across that is Concord, where I
Oh,
live.
This right here, where
We're
the,
looking at the cursor that Roy has up.
yeah, where the cursor is at, that's Concord, right?
Yeah.
And then up here is Glenarm.
Yeah.
This is Glenarm right here. This street.
That's Glenarm?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, and then the next street over is
Up here,
Mhm.
Bobby's.
that's Bobby's.
That's Bobby's Lane?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I just want to make sure that it's clear. Most of that blue is the drainage channel. Very little of it is actually going to cover residential property. But again, just to go back to 210 Concord, they're not affected by the floodplain here.
Have any other questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Any for myself or for the architect or the property owner?
No, no other questions?
Oh, I do have one specifically. The style you're going for is more modern, correct?
Want to come? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be, like modern accents, but so far we haven't gotten that far up ahead in the design. We worked on the floor plan because we needed to have something for the presentation. Just something to start the conversation. But yeah, it's gonna be something that fits into the aesthetic of the neighborhood, for sure, and something that is modern. Something that it's contemporary, for sure.
I have a question on the roof pitch. From the illustration, it looks like it's a steep roof pitch. What is the elevation on that?
The height,
The pitch?
the pitch, I think it's like a 712. So it's this is
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. That's some wrong.
it's 712. 712.
Turn your neck a bit.
So it's not a two-story, it's just single floor.
That's just attic. Yeah, it's not, no, it's a single story.
Be a nice attic.
Well, I personally like it and would recommend it, but I'd like to take a motion from the council.
I recommend we accept the proposal as is, right?
Okay, we have a second from Ms. Weaver, so let's go ahead and take a vote. Or cut,
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
I'll vote yay.
Aye.
Molly?
Aye.
Okay, whoops. All right, well, it looks like you guys got it 5-0. You're approved.
Long process. Thank you.
That was a great presentation.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, make sure to cover all the bases.
When you said questions for the architect, I'm like, I can't do anything better than that.
Okay, we got one more.
Welcome.
Say that again.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
All right, let's go ahead and proceed. So the next item is number 3. Board will conduct a public hearing to hear from the citizens on the application submitted by Elizabeth A. Montgomery, location 236 Glen Place, Balcones Heights, Texas, 78201. The legal description is CB 5771, Block 5, Lot 3, and Lot 4, zoning R1, single family resident. Applicant is requesting a variance to section 153.3.1.1, paragraph or parentheses 2. Accessory buildings front setback and placement are closer to the front line than the main structure. Unsigned up to speak for public.
Nobody signed up.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public portion. Nick, if you want to go ahead and make a presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes, this one will be much quicker, much more straightforward here. So, if we can kind of continue. Again, to reiterate the information, this applicant is Elizabeth, the homeowner, 236 Glenarm Place, zoning classification R1, single family residence. You can see the legal description, BCAD property, parcel information, and this is reference to permit number 8085 within our city software here. Yes, sir. Yes, right here. Yep, not everybody here. Next slide, please. Okay, so again, the variance requested is under ordinance 153.3.1.1, section 2, accessory buildings. So it is not a full variance request, but just 2 sections from there. Just to go over the variance or the ordinance fully here. Accessory buildings shall be permitted, including a private garage and excluding a servant's quarters when located at least 60 feet from the front property line. That is one of the variance requests right here. B, C, and D are not required part of the variance. E is part of the variance request here, which accessory buildings shall not be located closer to the front lot line than the front of the main structure. Here we're going to look at the site again. From a street view, we see Elizabeth's home here, very nice home. There's an aerial view right there off to the right. Any questions before we move on, before we kind of delve into plans? Next slide, please. So here's the proposed site. This is loosely what I have drafted up. What they're proposing is a 10 by 17 foot carport, which will be considered an accessory building. As I mentioned before, it needs to be a 60-foot setback from the front property. From the street. This would be at a 45-foot setback, and this would be a 10-foot protrusion from the home. So only 10 feet further than the home, 45 feet back from the street. It's not going to affect any characteristics that we see in the neighborhood, and it is pretty commonplace whenever you do see carports driving up and down the neighborhood. Any questions before we move on? Yes, sir.
How close is it to the property line? Are we still in compliance with that, or are we pushing the 10-foot rule?
On the side setback is fine. There's no request
Okay.
of variance or need for it.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the the, on the property line, how far are you supposed to be from each side of the house? I mean, from your house to the person's next to you?
You don't need to have a distance between house to house. It's house to property line.
Okay.
And
so
that's 10 feet,
Is what is the distance?
10 feet,
Pardon?
10 feet.
10 feet?
Yes,
And that's on both sides?
that's on both sides. So in theory, it should be 20 feet from your home to the next home at a minimum.
But
Um,
From my home to my property line is 10 feet on each side. So,
Yeah.
and then theirs is the same, but then say from the front of the house,
From the front of the house, it's supposed to be, I think it's 60 feet,
50?
60. I want to say it's 60. I would have to go back and look at the ordinance. Oh, I think, give me one second.
Oh, he's doing that. So just to reiterate what he's saying, as far as this accessory building, which is the carport,
It's gonna be okay.
it has to be 60 feet by ordinance,
60?
And so we're asking for an exception because it's 45 feet
Okay.
from the front.
So I can clarify a little further here. So accessory buildings are 60 feet, like Mr. Hernandez mentioned here. A home has a 30-foot front setback. So that home can be pushed back another 30 feet to the street line, if it was built today.
Okay, I'm confused here. From the street to the front of the house is how much room do you have to have?
30 feet.
30 feet?
If you were to build a new home, you only need 30 feet from the street to the front of the house.
Okay. Now, if I'm already there and if I wanted to add something, then I'd have to have one of y'all decide whether or not it's gonna be approved. Because I have to be at 30 feet.
If it is an accessory building, you would need a variance. Yeah, a carport, you would need a
Or a
variance.
porch or a patio.
Yes.
In the back, what about that?
Rear setback is 25 feet.
Backyard's 25 feet to the property.
25 feet, yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any more questions before we move on? Okay, next slide, please. Here's the proposed designs for the carport. The 12 there is kind of marked off. Like I said, it's going to be 12 by 17. It's not going to be a perfect square, a little rectangular in size, but this is generally what it's going to look like here.
Is she gonna attach it to the house or is this gonna be freestanding?
It should be freestanding. Is that correct? Freestanding, yes.
I do have a question though.
Yes.
Does she already have the material what's going to be made out of? Is it wood? Is it steel?
It is part of the permit. I want to say that it is in the packet. It is not in the presentation, but should be part of the full packet of what the materials are. Elizabeth, if you want to clarify,
Okay, okay.
which is pretty typical of what carports are built on around here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be construction of steel.
Okay, so the beams are gonna be steel.
Yes,
All right, what's the foundation cement?
it is going to be on the side of the driveway. It's not going to be bolted in. Is that correct?
Is it driveway dirt or asphalt or cement? I mean, the foundation is, because
So the slab for the driveway is cement, but the beams are going to be off to the side. They're not going to be bolted down into the driveway, if that makes sense. They're going to be secured by other means.
it'll be sturdy enough.
Yes, yeah. We're going to make sure it's just a variance request, so she's still going to need to submit other items to get approved for the permit itself. This is just granting her access to be able to follow through on the permit process. But we will ensure that this isn't flying off to somebody's neighbor's yard or anything like that.
Okay, obviously I was just worrying about her, the foundation.
Yeah. Okay, so again, here we're going to look at a response map. 17 properties fall within that 200-foot boundary. Again, there's a last minute addition in there. We have 5 returned in favor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 returned in favor. We have 13 no response. Nobody returned a opposed letter to us. I just want to reiterate, if we're not receiving those responses, to my interpretation, they're not showing any serious concern for the requested variance. They're not actively thinking that this is going to go against them or or against the aesthetic of the neighborhood. Yes,
How about runoff? Is the runoff just gonna go like off the back?
runoff is going to stay the same.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not going to, I did not include any floodplain maps or anything like that. It's not as serious as a footprint as it was for 210 Concord, but the runoff should not be affected by any of this. It's only going to be covering a non-permeable surface as it is, right, which is going to be the driveway. All the water is going to run off into, dirt, grass, anything like that. That's always going to be permeable. That's not going to cause any flooding. It is a similar grade level, so we're not expecting, serious water gushing and running off into any neighboring properties like that due to this. So recommendations, staff recommends approval of the requested variance for the proposed carport. Applicant has expressed a clear need for, protecting their vehicles. There is an existing carport, but it does not house, more than one vehicle here, right? So it's just providing more safety for their assets, their material possessions. It's going to improve the overall function and usability of the property. For this homeowner and for any future homeowners that happen to be in that property. We're hoping Elizabeth stays as a homeowner for quite some time here, but in the event, we want to set up our properties to work for future residents here. Again, the design is going to fit well with the surrounding neighborhood. You see many carports within the neighborhood, so it's not affecting it in a negative way. Yes, sir. And any questions before I head out, or from the property owner here?
Questions from anybody else? No. I will make a comment. I have driven by the property. The house is very nice, very attractive. It has a lot of curb appeal. So I would assume that she would build the covering for the carport in a similar manner. However, we're not here to discuss the building materials. That would be a separate issue. This is just strictly about the variance of the 45-foot to the front. And what was the other variance? The
60 feet from the front lot line, and then no accessory building can be further in front of the main structure, which would be the home.
So, and if you look at pretty much every home that we have that has a carport, it's always going to be
protrude,
closer,
yes.
right? So I'm in favor of, moving, but I would like to take a recommendation from council.
I make a recommendation that we approve the variance.
I hear a second.
I second.
Let's take a vote. We'll start with Molly Weaver.
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
I vote aye. Richard?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
All right, congratulations. 5-0, no nays.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Welcome, thank
Yep,
you.
3 months.
Okay, well, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I motion we adjourn.
There's a second?
Beat me to it, damn. Yes.
All right, all in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All right, done.
Aye. Aye.
Time is 5:46 PM.